practices of the regulative principles of devotional service, one can quickly come to understand the exact scientific sequential process by which one will attain to prayojana, the topmost states of love of Godhead. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So now that this atmosphere has been sufficiently purified by offering obeisances to the Sambandha Acharya, the Abhideya Acharya, and the Prayojana Acharya, let us open up our ears and hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please lend me your ears. We are on Canto 5, we're on chapter 18, we're on text 11. We are wandering through Jambudvip. These are prayers offered by Prahlad Maharaj and the residents of Hari Varsha to Lord Nrsingadev. Text 11. Yasangalabdam nijavirya vaibhavam tirtam muhusam sprishatam hi manasam harat yajonta shuti birgaton gajam Kovaina sevata mukunda vikramam Yasangalabdam nijavirya vaibhavam tirtam muhusam sprishatam himanasam Haratya jonta shruti birgaton gajam Kovai nasevate mukunda vikramam. Kindly chant. Yes, Sangabhadam nijavirya labdanam tirtam muhusam sprishatam himanasam Haratya jonta shruti birgaton gajam Tam muhusam sprishatam himanasam. Harati ajodha katasibe gatham gadram. Kovaina savate. Word for word. Yat, of whom, the devotees. Sangalabdam, achieved by the association. Nijavirya Vaibhavam, whose influence is uncommon. Tirtam, holy places like the Ganges. Muhuhu, repeatedly. Samsprishatam, of those touching. He, certainly. Manasam, the dirty things in the mind. Harati, vanquishes. Ajaha, the supreme unborn one. Antaha, in the core of the heart. Shruti-bihi, by the ears. Gataha, entered. Angajam, dirty things or infections of the body. Ka, who. Vai, indeed. Na, not. Sevita, would serve. Mukunda Vikramam, the glorious activities of Mukunda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translations and purports by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. By associating with persons for whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, is the all in all, one can hear of His powerful activities and soon come to understand Him. The activities of Mukunda are so potent that simply by hearing of them, one immediately associates with the Lord. For a person who constantly and very eagerly hears narrations of the Lord's powerful activities, the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, in the form of sound vibration, enters within his heart and cleanses it of all contamination. On the other hand, although bathing in the Ganges diminishes bodily contaminations and infections, this process and the process of visiting holy places can cleanse the heart only after a long time. Therefore, who is the sane man who will not associate with devotees to quickly perfect his life? Purport. Bathing in the Ganges can certainly cure one of many infectious diseases, but it cannot cleanse one's materially attached mind, which creates all kinds of contaminations in material existence. However, one who directly associates with the Supreme Lord by hearing of His activities cleanses the dirt from his mind and very soon comes to Krishna consciousness. Sutta Goswami confirms this in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shrinvatam Swa Kata Krishna Punya Shravanam Kirtana Ridyantasto Yabadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam. The Supreme Lord within everyone's heart becomes very pleased when a person hears narrations of His activities, and He personally cleanses the dirt from the mind of the listener. Ridyantao sto ya badrani vidunoti. He washes off all dirt from the mind. Material existence is caused by dirty things within the mind. If one can cleanse his mind, he immediately comes to his original position of Krishna consciousness, and thus his life becomes successful. Therefore, All the great saints in the devotional line very strongly recommend the process of hearing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra to give everyone a chance to hear Krishna's holy name. For simply by hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, one becomes purified. Chaito Darpanam Marjanam. Therefore, our Krishna conscious movement is chiefly engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra all over the world. After one's mind becomes cleansed by chanting Hare Krishna, one gradually comes to the platform of Krishna consciousness. And then he reads books like Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the Nectar of Devotion. In this way, one becomes more and more purified of material contamination. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.18, Nasta Pareshu Abhadjeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yutama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. By regularly hearing the Bhagavatam and rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is practically destroyed. And loving service unto the glorious Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. In this way, simply by hearing of the powerful activities of the Lord, the devotee's heart becomes almost completely cleansed of material dirt, of material contamination, and thus his original position as an eternal servant who is part and parcel of the Lord becomes manifest. While the devotee engages in devotional service, the passionate and ignorant modes of material nature are gradually vanquished, and then he acts only in the mode of goodness. At that time, he becomes happy, and he gradually advances in Krishna consciousness. All the great acharyas strongly recommend that people be given a chance to hear about the Supreme Lord. Then success is assured. The more we cleanse the dirt of material attachment from our hearts, the more we will be attracted by Krishna's name, fame, form, quality, paraphernalia, and activities. This is the sum and the substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So anyway, very rich verse, very rich purport. Lot to say, I hope I can get to it all. There's a two-tiered religious system here mentioned in this this verse. First tier, first class religious system is the hearing from the mouth of the deeply purified, deeply attached to Krishna devotees. The glories of the name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The second tier, the second class religious system is the religious system of traveling to the Ganges, traveling to the holy places, bathing, doing activities like this, not in a devotional mood, but just doing them as a tapa, as they are sometimes recommended in the Dharma Shastras like the Manu Samhita. Okay? So we want to accept the first class religious system. Make hay while the sun shines, strike while the iron is hot, and use the human form of life for what it's meant to be used for while you got it. Two things should be taken care of immediately: debt and fire. You don't neglect debt, and you definitely don't neglect the fire. There's a third thing that should be taken care of immediately. Getting out of the material world should be immediately taken care of. Prabhupada said, an intelligent man, he looks around at this material world, he sees what's going on, and the only conclusion after looking around the Jagat, the entire material world, he must, if he's intelligent, he must say to himself, how do I get out? Prabhupada said, finish up your business in this lifetime and get out. And so how does one get out? This is by following the first-class yoga system, not the second class, not the third class. We know after reading the Bhagavad Gita, the whole yoga system, he's discussing the yoga ladder. From Karma Kandya Yoga to Karma Yoga to Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga to Jnana Yoga to Astanga Yoga, and then from Astanga Yoga to what? Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatanantaratmana shravan bhajateyo mam sa me yuktatamo mataha. This is the end of the discussion about the yoga ladder. Out of all yogis, one who abides with me with great faith, who thinks of me within himself, and who offers devotional service unto me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and he is the highest of all, and that is my opinion, says Krishna. So our yoga process should start from there. That's our yoga process. That's the bhakti yoga process. Go koti danam grahane kagasya gangal daka kalpa vasha yagna yukta meru suvarna dharma govinda kirtir nashamam shatam shaya. If you want to, go ahead. Go koti danam. Go means cow. Go koti, millions of cows. Go koti danam grahane kagasya. Make the arrangements. Go ahead. Distribute millions of cows on the day of the solar eclipse. Good luck trying to do that in Kali Yuga, but if you want to, give it a try. Go koti danam grahane kagasam prayagya gangadaka kalpa varshanaha. Go ahead. You can move to Tirtharaj Prayag. It's the king of all holy places. And you can live on the bank of the Ganga River. But I don't know, we can only live on the bank of the Ganga River at Tirtharaj Prayag for so long. But here in this verse it says, even if you lived there for 4,300,000,000 years, a day of Lord Brahma. And then it says, Yagna Yutta Meru Suvarna Danam. Yagna Yutta means 10,000 Vedic sacrifices. And these are very unusual Vedic sacrifices. At these Vedic sacrifices, you give away in charity a mountain of gold as high as Mount Sumera. Yagna Yutta Meru Suvarna Danam Govinda Kirtir Nashamam Shatam Shaiha. Nashamam means it's not equal. Don't think that they're equal. These great Vedic purificatory processes in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and the absorption in the name, fame, qualities, pastimes, and paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Don't equate the holy name with some kind of Vedic ritualistic ceremony. It's one of the offenses. No, Nashamam, it's not equal. Not equal to what? Satam Sahai, Govinda Kirtir Nashamam Shatam Shaiha. Not even 1/100th of a particle. So go koti danam grahane kagasya gango daka kalpa vashaha yagna yutta meru suvarna dhamam govinda kirtir nashamam shatam shaya. So one may give 10 million cows in charity on a day of a solar eclipse. Or if one prefers, one can live on the bank of the Ganga River at Tirtharaj Prayag, the king of all holy places, for 1,000 yuga cycles, an entire day of Lord Brahma, 4,300,000,000 years. Or if you like, you can attempt to perform 10,000 Vedic yagnas, and at each yagna you give away a mountain of gold as high as Mount Sumera. Good luck! But all these things combined cannot be compared to even 1/100th of the benefit that one receives simply by uttering the name Govinda. Govinda ki! Bolaye Govinda! Okay. Gyanamasti tulitam nacha tulayam. Siddhir eva tulitatram tulam. We try again. Gyanam asti tulitam cha tulayam. Tulitam means a scale, and tulayam means to weigh on a scale. Gyanam asti tulitam cha tulayam. Prema naiva tulitam tu tulayam. Siddhir eva tulitatra tulayam. Krishna nama tulitam na tulayam. So the opulence of acquiring Vedic wisdom and the perfection of the mystic yoga system, these two things, they can be compared to one another. And they can be compared to other things in this material world. So if they can be compared to other things in this material world, that means that these processes of a yoga are somewhat contaminated. They're material processes of yoga. Trust me, in Vrindavan, nobody's doing Gyan yoga in Goloka Vrindavan. Nobody's doing Astanga yoga in Goloka Vrindavan. Trust me. Nobody's doing Karma Kanda yoga in Goloka Vrindavan. That type of activities ends at the Viraja River. But there is one type of yoga they're doing in Goloka Vrindavan. Bhakti yoga. The yoga of chanting and hearing the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. That yoga that keeps on going after the demise of the spiritual body, because it is the original primeval yoga of the soul. So the opulence of acquiring Vedic wisdom, okay, I already quoted that. So therefore, let me gather my thoughts. So therefore, we should not get caught up in any other yoga process or any other system of religion other than that's been prescribed by the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Acharyas in the coming down through disciplic succession. Dharmam tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam. The supreme religion, the supreme dharma, the supreme occupational duty. Real religion, real religious principles are directly enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna and Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is one of the jobs, and I'm using that word job specifically. But this is one of the jobs of an incarnation of the Lord. Dharma samstarpanataya. He has to revitalize. He comes down, the incarnation of the Lord, he comes down, paritranaya sadhanam, vinashaya chuduskritam, dharma samstarpanataya, to reestablish the principles of religion. It's the work of an incarnation. And Lord Krishna does this work, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does, particularly Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he does this work. But that's not the real reason for the appearance of the Lord. In the prayers of Queen Kunti Devi, she says there's different reasons. Some reasons say you appear to glorify your mothers, Yashoda and Devaki. Some people say you appear to glorify the Yadu dynasty. Some people say you appear to reestablish the religious principles of hearing and chanting that has been lost in the eons of time. And some people, they say you appear for this reason. And some people say you appear for this reason. But none of those reasons, while they're all true, are not the real reason for the appearance of the Lord. The real reason for the appearance of the Lord is that he simply appears because he wants to, and it's pleasurable. He's motivated by pleasure and pleasure in all. Anandamoyo Bhyasat. So, Shaksha Dharmam tu Shaksha Bhagavat Pranitam. So, and there's a funny pastimes in the Krishna book. You know the funny pastime? Where Narada Muni, he comes to Vraj in the middle of the Vrindavan pastimes. He comes to Vraj in the middle of the Vrindavan pastimes. Why does Narada Muni, out of everyone, Narada Muni make an appearance in Vraj in the middle of the Vrindavan pastimes? What's he doing there, the sage of the demigods? He belongs in other places, Dwarka, anyway, he can also come he's such a great devotee also, but he's the sage of the demigods. But he comes to Vraj and he says, Lord Krishna, right in the middle of Lord Krishna's pastime, he makes a prayer. He says, Dear Lord Krishna, he said, I can't wait to see your pastimes in Dwarka. I can't wait till you kill this demon. I can't wait till you kill that demon. I can't wait to see you marry 16,108 wives and divide yourself into 16,108 Krishnas. I can't wait for these opulent, powerful pastimes. I can't wait until you dharma samstarpana taya. I can't wait till you get on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and you reestablish the principles of religion. The demigods were getting worried. Krishna's enjoying too much in Vraj. He may forget about Dharma Samstarpana Taya. He may forget. So therefore we'll send Narada Muni in, and Narada Muni will play, oh Lord, remember this, remember this, remember this. Remember how Bhumi came to you. Once upon the time, the earth was overburdened with various kings who were actually demons, but they were posing as the Kshatriya order. And the demigods went to the... So remember all of that, my Lord. Because he's enjoying too much in Vraj. He's at home in Vraj. There's a place in Braj Mandala Parikram called Shesha Shahi. Anybody ever been there? Raise their hand. Yes, you've done Braj Mandala Parikram. So it's a place where Krishna, it's very, very esoteric place because it's way up north. And hardly anybody goes to it, and the only time you get there is when you're on Braj Mandala Parikram. Very few people go out there. It's on the northern edge of Vraj. You take one more step away from Sheshashayi and you're out of Vraj. But in that place there was a particular pastime that happened there. And at one time during the Leela of Lord Krishna, the gopis said, we would like to see. We've heard from different sages and stuff that we would like to see that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, sometimes we don't believe that. But we've heard it and we've seen you do amazing things. So sometimes we even think that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we'd like to see, seeing you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we'd like to see you lie down on the ocean of milk. As Garbhodakshai Vishnu, we like to see Sheshanag. And we like to see Lord Brahma born out of your navel. Can we see this, Lord Krishna, please? What do you think? So Lord Krishna says yes, and there's a kund out there, it's called Shir Shagara. And Lord Balaram, he transformed himself into Ananta Shesh. Lord Krishna, he transformed himself into Kshirodakshai Vishnu. The gopis and the gopas, they transformed themselves into all the various demigods and demigoddesses, and then Lord Brahma was born on the lotus flower. This was the last pastime, according to people who've been on Brajmandala Parikrama, according to Lokanath Swami. This was the last pastime Krishna performed in Vraj. And then boom, off to Mathura. Off to Dharma Samstarpana Taya. So real religious principles are directly enacted. They're directly displayed by the Lord when He appears as an incarnation. Okay, I'm running out of time here, and I'll end with this verse. So then you say, okay, so real religious practices are directly enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're displayed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead when He appears as an incarnation of the Lord. But then Krishna gives a verse of a list of people who do not know what are real religious principles. It's quite an extensive list. Would anybody like to hear that list? Who doesn't know what is real religion? Huh? So he says, Dharma samstarpanataya. He says, Dharmam tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam. Navai vidor rishayo napi devaha. Na siddha mukhya na asura na manushyaha kuto nu vidyadara charana dayabak. Dayabak means and so on and so forth and so on. So real religious principles are directly displayed and enacted by the incarnation of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though they are in the mode of goodness, even the topmost rishis in the higher planetary systems, they do not know what real religious principles are. Nor do the demigods. Huh? Nor do the leaders of the Siddhaloka planet. Nor do the asuras. Nor do the human beings. Huh? What then to speak of the Vidyadharas, the Charanas? These are the Upadevas, the Nagas, etc., so on and so forth. So then you say, well, that's very bold. If all these people say they don't know religious principles, you're a pretty puffed up guy, Gitanagri Das. What are you sitting on this Vyasasan saying you know? How dare you? The demigods, huh? But we know. Why? Quite a list of people who don't know. But then who knows what are the real religious principles? And that's given in the next verse. This is Yamaraj talking to the Yamadutas. He says, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhuhu, Kumara, Kapila, Manuhu, Palado, Janako, Bhishmo, Bailer, Vyasakir, Vyam. Vyam means an eye, Lord Yamaraj. So the real religious principles are known by the following people. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Kapila, the son of Devahudi, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, Grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, and I myself, Lord Yamaraj. So we appear in disciplic succession from Lord Brahma. In our disciplic succession is Lord Brahma, is Narada Muni, two of the Mahajans. So we can know in disciplic succession what are the real religious principles. Last verse, because we're running out of time. And so therefore, the next verse goes, Dwadwai Shate. Dwadwai Shate means us 12. Dodwaishate vijanimo. We know. Dodwaishate vijanimo. Dharma Bhagavatam Bataha Guyam. Guyam means very secret. Vishuddha means extremely pure. Durbo Dham means it's most difficult for ordinary people in ordinary human society to understand. Durbo Dham. Tam Nyatvam Ritam Asnute. But if they understand Nyatvam, if they understand Amrita Asnute, they get immortality. So us 12, we know the real religious principles. My dear servants, my dear Yamadutas, the real religious principles are called Bhagavat Dharma, or surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead in love for Him. This religious principle is beyond the three modes of material nature. It is extremely confidential, and it is most difficult for ordinary human beings in human society to understand. But if by chance or great fortune one happens to understand it, then he comes completely cleansed, completely liberated, and he goes back home, back to Godhead. And what is the main feature of this real religious principle? What is the main feature of this That's described in the next verse. Etavan eva lokeshmin pumsam. Pumsam means people. Loke means this world. All the people in this world. Etavan eva lokeshmin pumsams. Dharma para smritaha. This is the authorized, smritaha means authorized, supreme religion, supreme dharma, supreme occupational duty. It is what we're supposed to be doing while we have the human form of life, according to the Shastras, if you want to believe the Shastra. So dharma, Etavan eva lokeshmin pumsams dharma parasmitaha. Bhakti yoga bhagavati. Bhakti yoga is what we're supposed to be doing, and not to anyone, not to the demigods, not to your boss, not to the guy who controls your paycheck, not to your truck driving boss, not to any of those people. Bhakti yoga has to go to Bhagavati, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. And what's the amazing feature of this Bhakti Yoga system? Tanama, Grahana, Adibi. Adimi means it begins, it starts. Bhakti Yoga begins and starts when you accept the name of God into your life, and you take it and you value it and you cherish it and you chant it and you hold on to it as if it's your dearmost thing, as if it's your life raft, as if it's a rope coming down into a dark well, and the only thing you have to do is hold on. This is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's analogy. Some say that you go back to Godhead, it's the monkey and the monkey mother and the baby monkey. You got to endeavor with all your might. He says that's wrong. Other people say it happens completely by mercy. You just wait, and when God's ready, He will touch you and you'll go back to Godhead. That's wrong. The real analogy, says Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, is the rope in the well. Somebody, you've fallen into the well. You've fallen into the well of material existence. We are fallen. Dva vima purusha loke kashara chakshara evaha kashara cha kutosta kashara uchite. There are two classes of beings. There are the fallible and the infallible. All the people in the material world, they are fallible. So the thing is, the fallible people in the world, the rope is being delivered, it's being come down into us from the carefully preserved parampara system. And the only thing we have to do is hold on. Hold on to what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So this, so bhakti, devotional service beginning with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the ultimate religious principle for all the living entities in human society. Okay, we'll stop there. Anyone have any questions? Anyone has anything to say? Any corrections? Anything like that? Hare Krishna. Okay, okay. Hare Krishna. My friend. Yes, go ahead. I forget your name. By the way, you sing beautiful. You sing very nice kirtan. Love it so much.
Hare Krishna. So this verse is describing that sadhu sangha is attained when one hears from the sadhu. And then from that hearing, impurity is removed from the heart, and one gradually attains Krishna. So I was wondering that although we do associate with devotees, and we at least attend the Bhagavatam class and hear something, we may observe within ourselves that the contamination is hardly being removed. And we struggle, of course, with very subtle narcissism, pride, etc. But we also struggle with very gross things as well. And my question is more specifically is, what is the missing element in our hearing that does not allow the hearing to act very effectively or swift in the heart? This verse is speaking about swift action of the hearing process. So I was wondering what may be the missing element in our hearing by which the process is like so gradual, but it almost feels like we're not moving whatsoever.
First of all, okay. Okay. Tough question, okay? Tough question. I don't know. Answering questions is not my forte. Screaming into the microphone is my forte. I object to the idea that it's happening slowly. You look where you started, and you look where you are today. Okay? I mean, I know what it means to be deep in the modes of material nature. And I mean really deep. Okay? I know what it means to be a druggie. I know what it means to be a meat eater. And I know what it means to be a sex monger. I know these things. And so the thing is look where you were and look where you've come. And so it's my objection to that question is that the process is not happening. What are you doing in Vrindavan leading these wonderful kirtans then? Huh? Who gets to come to Vrindavan and lead these kirtans? So that would be my first objection to your question, that it's happening slowly. You think slowly means 30 seconds, or fast means 30 seconds, or 1 year, or 6 months. Yeah, that's what you think? Okay. I think one lifetime is very, very quick. Especially now that I've hit my 60s. Achoo, it's over. What? Okay, Janardana Maharaj wishes to make a comment.
Hare Krishna. Same question was asked to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he says that because we have still some material desires, that's why it is not working. So we have to give up those material desires. Then we will act faster. If we hang on to our material desires and at the same time trying to hear, it's just like putting water on the fire. You try to build a fire, but then you're putting water into it. You're not able to build the whole fire. So So we should be willing to give up those material desires that we are so attached. Then the process will act swiftly.
Yeah, he used the example of the wedding party, you know, that has the anchor still in. So there's some kind of anchor still in. So your question means, how can I remove the anchor, right? How can I pull it up for good? This is called anartanivity. By the way, out of all the different processes of advancement in spiritual life, anartanivity is the toughest. That means abandoning or giving up all unwanted things, and giving up all unwanted or unwholesome desires in the heart. That's the place where people spend the longest time in spiritual life. But I can help you if you want me to help you. I know how to really help you. Go to Balaram. Go to Nityananda Prabhu. You want to speed up your spiritual life? Is that what you want to do? You want to go fast? You want to take the race car as fast as it can around the track? Because I know I once asked for that, and then I said, slow down, please slow down. But do you want to go fast? Go to Nityananda. Beg him, and then watch out. Okay? Okay, you go to Nityananda. You say, I want to go fast. And then beg him. And I'm not kidding around. I can't do it. I'm incapable of doing it. I have too many material desires. I'm anchored too deeply in the material world. Please help me, Lord Nityananda. Please help me, Lord Bamalam. Don't go to Krishna with that. It's the wrong ras. Go to Balaram. Go to Nityananda, okay? And then watch out. Because then he may give you what you're asking for. And you're going to be really shocked when he does. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Oh, okay.
I would agree with you that I wasn't receiving enough speed in terms of 30 seconds. I also agree that one lifetime is pretty fast. Right?
Yeah, it's very fast.
Is pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, everybody here in this room, look where you started, look where you are now.
My question actually,
sure.
The anchor, we were mentioning the anchor, Maharaj was talking about desires. So those are the anartas, and the process for removing those anartas is shavana, kirtana, etc. So the actual underscore of my question is, how does one make the hearing more effective? That was actually the core of my question. So we are hearing, and so the speed part got picked up. I wasn't so much concerned about the speed.
It's called anukirtanam.
How do we make it?
Yeah, I can tell you how to make it more effective. It's called anukirtanam. You know what anukirtanam? Anukirtanam means chanting and hearing the name and the qualities and the fame of the Lord according to the directions of the previous acharya. Anukirtanam means kirtan fortified with following the four regulative principles. Raga dresha vimuktais tu vishayan indriyais charan. Atma Vaishya Dirvadeya Prashadam. You want Prashadam? Prashadam Adigachachi. Is that what you want? You want Prashadam? You want mercy of the Lord? You want to go fast? You want to make a lot of advancement. And you want, so the thing is how do you make advancement? You got to do anukirtan, kirtan as directed by the acharya. And that means fortified by the following the four regulative principles. Raga, dvesh, those who are free from attachment and aversion and able to follow the regulative principles of freedom, they can attain the complete mercy of the Lord. So at some point in time, all of us have got to eat the bitter pill. You know what the bitter pill is? No gambling. Is that the bitter pill? Do you think? Oh, no meat eating. That's a tough one, no meat eating, especially with the prashadam around here in as you can tell, the prashadam, no meat eating. Huh? That's a tough one, huh? No intoxication. Okay, that may be a little bit tough, but the Hare Krishna mantra takes care of a lot of that. So what is the bitter pill? So we all have to swallow the bitter pill. The bitter pill is celibacy. If you chant your Hare Krishna Maha mantras fortified by celibacy, then you'll make quick advancement. I'm sorry, is that okay? Here, I'll give you a mantra. You want a nice mantra? It's from the Narada Bhakta Sutras. Bahu Dukkam Bhak. Bahu Dukkam Bhak. Bahu means many, Dukkam means sadnesses, and Bhak means ensues. So what that means is that after the enjoyment of sex life, unlimited miseries ensue. And even if it's illicit sex life according to the regulative principles, there's still miseries that are associated with that sex life. And then when you understand that after the enjoyment of sex life, unlimited miseries ensues, and then you'll begin to really appreciate brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is great. Trust me, I've been in both states. And I'll take brahmacharya hands down over Bahu Dukkam Bhak. So eat the bitter pill, okay? And then watch how much advancement you make. Hare Krishna. Okay, anything else? Hare Krishna. Sorry if I disturbed everyone.